Hello folks, it's November the 23rd of 2025. I have another metal CD collection update here for you all. So I have a bunch of newer releases as well as a bunch of older albums. Okay, so as usual, I'm just going to go through these albums and show you them and talk to you about them as well. Okay, so let's get right the fuck into this. Okay, so up first is Drudkh with Shadowplay. This album came out in 2025, legendary Ukrainian black metal band right here. You could describe them as being sort of like atmospheric black metal or like blackened folk metal. They kind of are within those particular styles of black metal. They've been around since 2002. This is their 13th full-length album, and incredible album right here. This band has been very consistent throughout the years, and I've been a big fan of their music for quite a long time. And easily one of my top 5 favorite black metal bands. I really do enjoy their music so much. The music is just very heavy, aggressive, and fast, and also very melancholic, very dark and depressive sounding, but also very melodic as well, with a very rich, harmonious sound. Just lots and lots of detail here. It just takes you into another world, this music, into a really beautiful place, and it's just incredible. Love that cover as well. Very beautiful cover there. Okay, so yeah, incredible album right here. This will definitely be on my top albums of 2025 list. So if you haven't checked this one out, definitely give it a listen, okay? Alright, so that is Drudkh with Shadowplay. Ghost with Skeleta. This album came out in 2025. Swedish hard rock slash heavy metal band. They do have quite a bit of like pop elements within their music as well. They've been around for quite a while, this band. Tobias Forge, of course, is the main member of this band. The main songwriter of Ghost, and so this is their 6th full-length album. I've been a big fan of Ghost since the release of their first album many years ago, probably about good 15 years ago now. I think their first album came out in 2010, so yeah, I've been a fan of their music since then, and I do have more of a preference for their earlier albums. This album, I've listened to it quite a bit, and I do enjoy it, but honestly, it's definitely one of my lesser favorite albums from them. There's definitely more of like glam elements within this album. I would say it's definitely, some of the songs definitely have elements of like, I can hear elements of like, bands like Bon Jovi and Rat and Twisted Sister, as well as some like Ozzy Osbourne as well. So definitely more of those influences within their music now. Still pretty catchy stuff and great production and whatnot, but yeah, it's not my favorite. I still like it, but definitely not one of my favorites from this band, but still worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of Ghost. So yeah, give this one a listen if you like. Okay, so that is Ghost with Skeleta. Cradle of Filth with the Screaming of the Valkyries. And this is their 16th full-length album. This is a very legendary band out of Britain. They've been around since 1991 and have been very prolific throughout the years. And so their style is more like, I would say it's almost like a blend of like symphonic black metal with melodic death metal as well as sort of like gothic metal. A very unique sound that is their own. This band is they've created something very unique that is uniquely their own, I would say. And yeah, their sound is really good. The production is just phenomenal. Very heavy, very catchy songs. Danny, of course, the main member of this band. Excellent vocals, really unique lyrics as well, and but it sounds like a Cradle of Filth album. It's nothing unusual, I suppose. This band is they sort of have their own sound that they've kind of repeated throughout the years to some extent. They've definitely gone in some different directions, but it still sounds very much like a Cradle of Filth album. It's pretty good. I definitely enjoy it, and I definitely enjoy it more than some of their other albums. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid album from this band. And yeah, some pretty solid songs on here, pretty catchy songs. I would definitely say that's more immediate and catchier than some of their other albums. Okay, so definitely worth checking out if you're into this style of music, and especially if you're a fan of Cradle of Filth, definitely give this one a listen. Okay, so that is Cradle of Filth with the Screaming of the Valkyries. Falkenbach. I'm not even going to pronounce the name of this album. I'm not even going to try. Okay, but this is their 2nd full-length album. This came out in 1998. This is a one-man band, and they are more of like a kind of like a folk metal type of band. They have some sort of like blackened folk metal type elements as well. Very epic and triumphant sounding. This album is incredible. I do recall listening to this album, I believe, online many years ago. back in my like late 20s and enjoying it quite a bit. So eventually I did buy it, obviously. But yeah, I have enjoyed this album quite a bit throughout the years, and thankfully I have a copy of it in my collection now. Yeah, just very epic sounding music. It just sort of takes you on this journey, and yeah, it's just incredible. Very melodic sounding with screened vocals as well as melodic vocals and chanting, as well as some other instrumentation going on. Very unique stuff, and yeah, some very solid folk metal right here. I'm not the biggest fan of folk metal, but this particular band I really do enjoy quite a bit. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one. Okay, so that is Falkenbach. Again, I'm not going to pronounce the name of this album. It's very difficult to pronounce, but this is their second album, second full-length album. Okay, all right. Another Falkenbach album here. This is their third album. I'm not going to pronounce this one either. Very challenging, but this one did come out in 2003. Yeah, so their third full-length album right here. Very nice cover right there. I do enjoy that cover quite a bit. Nice packaging here. It's sort of like a digipack, but I would say it's definitely quite a bit nicer than a lot of other digipacks out there. Yeah, again, they kind of went into a bit of a different direction with this album. This album did come out 5 years after the release of their last album. I know the main man of this band was having some health issues, and so he had to recover from all of that. But he definitely went to somewhat of a different direction here. Again, more emphasis on the melodic vocals, not much screamed vocals here. And I believe there's like a live drummer on this album, whereas their previous albums, I believe, had a drum machine. So yeah, pretty good album right here. Again, it definitely sounds like a Falkenbach album. It just has that very epic, triumphant sound, that that folk metal type of sound that they're going for. Pretty good stuff. I definitely appreciate Falkenbach. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of folk metal, but there's something really good about this band that I just enjoy so much. And so yeah, definitely give this one a listen. Okay. All right. So that is Falkenbach. Again, I'm not going to pronounce the album, but it is their third full-length album if you want to check it out. Okay. Let me take a drink of my coffee here. Alrighty. Up next is Satyricon with Dark Medieval Times, a very classic black metal album right here. Satyricon, of course, are a very legendary Norwegian black metal band. I think they formed sometime around 1991. Two-member band, that being Satyr and Frost, and they put out quite a few albums throughout the years. They haven't released anything in quite a long time now, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they were to release another album. But this is their debut album right here. Very legendary album. Definitely a little bit more in the lo-fi type of end of the spectrum in terms of the production, but still pretty good in terms of the production. Just more organic sounding. Lots of like folk type elements here. You can hear like some acoustic guitars and whatnot, but still pretty heavy and dark sounding stuff. Very cold and misty sounding. It just feels like you're just in like a forest, going on a journey in a forest. That's sort of what this album sort of evokes. It's a very interesting feel. It's pretty good stuff right here. Not my favorite album from them personally. Honestly, I would say it's one of my lesser favorite albums from them because I do have a preference for their later releases. I know a lot of people really enjoy their earlier albums, and their earlier albums are really good. But me, I really enjoy albums like The Age of Nero and those albums that came out around that time. But I can still appreciate this one. Okay, of course, it is such a legendary album within black metal, and especially like Norwegian black metal. So yeah, and I'm sure many of you have listened to this album. So, but for those who haven't, give it a listen. Okay. Okay. So that is Satyricon with Dark Medieval Times. Another Norwegian band here. This is Borknagar with their self-titled release. This came out in 1996. This is their debut album. I've been a really big fan of Borknagar for quite a long time. I started to get into the music when I was probably around 23 years old, I believe sometime around there. I remember getting the album Universal and enjoying that one so much. I just absolutely fell in love with that band at that point, and so I have all their albums now. So possibly at some point I may do an albums rank video for this band. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of their music. And this album right here, it's like I said, the production is a little bit more primitive sounding. Still fairly good though. Very aggressive and fast music. Just furious. Just incredibly angry music right here. But yeah, they definitely have some like folk elements here as well. There's 5 instrumental songs on here. I believe there's 10 tracks on this album, and 5 of them are instrumentals. This album is sort of like almost like a super group of sorts because it does feature members of Ulver, Enslaved, Gorgoroth, and the drummer of this band, I believe his name was Grim. I believe that's what it was. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, Grim. He did pass away, I believe, in 1999. Sort of like a legendary drummer that played drums for other Norwegian black metal bands. Unfortunately, he did pass away in 1999. But yeah, very legendary album right here. Personally, one of my lesser favorites from Borknagar. I've listened to it a fair bit, especially over the past while. It's good, but to me, it's just not as good as their later albums. They would, in my opinion, get so much better, this band, and really develop and evolve their sound so much more. But it's interesting to hear where they came from, and so yeah, definitely worth a listen. I'm happy that I have this in my collection. All right, okay, so that is Borknagar with their self-titled album. Paradise Lost with Lost Paradise. This came out in 1990. This is their debut album. I'm a pretty big fan of Paradise Lost. I've been a really big fan of their music for a good easy 3 or 4 years now. I really started to get into the music. And yeah, pretty solid band. Of course, they are sort of like the founders of the whole almost like death doom type of sound. And then they would also go on to found or be one of the founders of the whole sort of like gothic doom type of sound. And great band, such a legendary British metal band here. This album, though, you could tell it's pretty primitive. The songwriting is not the greatest. There's nothing that's particularly memorable about this album. I know some people really enjoy this album, but honestly, it just cannot be compared to their later albums. Um, yeah, I mean, the songwriting isn't that good. It's not that memorable. The musicianship is decent, but they would definitely get so much better. You could tell this is a band in their earlier stages, and yeah, they would get so much better than this. But I move on to really develop other unique albums, and but still interesting to listen to because obviously such a legendary band, a band that I'm a big fan of. It's really interesting to hear where they came from. But yeah, probably my least favorite album from this band, or yeah, I would say probably my least favorite. And I do have all their albums now, so I probably will do an albums rank video from this band at some point. So look out for that. But yeah, it's worth listening to. But like I said, I just honestly I think it's their probably least best album. Let's say. Okay, but give it a listen if you like, if you haven't. Okay, so that is Paradise Lost with Lost Paradise. Okay, on the last album on my list here is Pentagram with Show 'Em How. And this album came out in 2004. And so yeah, I'm a very big fan of Pentagram. I'm sure most of you are aware of that. I have all their full-length albums now. I just needed this album to complete my Pentagram collection. And so I believe this is their 6th full-length album, if I'm correct. So on this album, it's a completely different lineup. This album features, of course, Bobby. He's been the only constant member in this band throughout their years, and this band has been around for a long time, since 1971. So he teamed up with 3 members of the band Internal Void. They are another doom metal band out of the US. So it's basically Internal Void with Bobby on vocals, essentially. That's what it is. And it's mostly just like remakes of like classic Pentagram songs that were never recorded, but like older songs that they finally decided to record for this particular release. There are some new songs. I believe there's like 3 new songs on this album, but it's mostly re-recordings of old Pentagram songs or songs that were never recorded. But yeah, Bobby, he does a fairly good job on this album, vocal-wise. I mean, I'm sure he was just high as fuck on this album. You can definitely tell he's a little bit wild here. Musicianship is certainly very good, but it's just not that memorable of an album. Most people, or many people, would consider this to be like their worst album, and I mean, it's still a fairly good album, but it's the most unnecessary of all their albums. You know, if you're just getting into Pentagram, I definitely don't recommend this one. It's good, but it's to me, it's the kind of album you get after you've gotten all their other albums. It's more for like a diehard Pentagram fan such as myself. I mean, I'm definitely happy to have it in my collection, and it is good, but it's just not great in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of other people would agree with me. But still worth checking out. If you're a Pentagram fan, I would definitely check this one out. Okay, so yeah, that's it. All right, so that is Pentagram with Show 'em How. Okay, folks, those are some metal albums I purchased recently. So if you want to check some of these out, I will leave a list of them in the description. Okay, so otherwise I'm doing pretty good. I've been working really hard on my music. I am, of course, recording the debut album for Eternal Forest. I'd say I'm about 80% done now. I have mostly the lyrics to write and the vocals to record. Then, of course, once that's all done, I will be getting the album mixed and mastered. I have hired somebody to do that for me. I also had a cover design recently and some artwork designed as well for this album. So things are coming along really well. It's a lot of work. Yeah, it can be fairly stressful at times, but yeah, it's coming along really, really well. Otherwise, I'm doing pretty good. It's basically the holiday season now, so I've been busy with that, purchasing gifts and been watching some Christmas movies as well. Been pretty busy at my job and just taking care of things around the house. So yeah, things are coming along pretty good. So yeah, leave some comments, give me a thumbs up, and yeah, I'm always interested in comments. If there's anything you'd like to know, I'd be more than happy to reply to you. Okay, so I want to say thanks to all the people who watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. I really truly appreciate it. Take care, my friends. Cheers.